Hello everyone. Welcome once again to my class on linguistics. In the last class, we had discussed about what an IC analysis is. We talked about the different ways of representing an IC analysis. We also talked about the methods for determining the ICs of a constituent or the IC of a construction. Now, in today's class, we shall be discussing more about constituents. Now, I hope all of you remember about construction and constituents. A sentence can be called a construction and it can be divided into constituents in the IC analysis. Now, these constituents have their own constructed equivalents which we can substitute one for another. You will understand this by means of an example. For example, the old man who lives there has gone to his son's house. Now, we can substitute one constituent for another here. Again, the old man, instead of who lives there, you have substituted it with who survives. Has gone has been substituted by went, and to his son's house has been substituted by to that house. Again, by means of substitution, you have got another sentence like the old survivor went to England. We have done substitution again and it became he went to England. Again, he went there, which can be written as he went. So, by means of substitution, you have changed a sentence which had around 12 units into a sentence with just 2 units in it or 2 elements in it. Now, let's check expansion. Now, let's take a construction like this man is a doctor. And you have done a binary cut using IC analysis, and it became this man as one constituent and is a doctor as another constituent. You can keep on expanding these constituents. For example, this man can be expanded into this young man. Is a doctor has been expanded into is an efficient doctor. Again, by means of expansion, you have written it as this tall young man with a mustache is an efficient, kind, and successful doctor. Now you can keep on expanding this sentence. So a sentence which had around 5 elements in it has been expanded to one with around 15 elements. Okay, so it is not just 15, it can be indefinitely expanded. So here in substitution and expansion, what you have done is not just substituting one set of words with another, or it is not literal expansion that you have done. What you have done is you have substituted one sequence of morpheme for another. Okay, one sequence of morpheme which has the same syntactic environment as the one you have replaced. So this is what you have done. So this is one characteristic about the constituent that I wanted to emphasize. Now, in the last video, we had discussed about representing this IC analysis. But that type of IC analysis cannot tell us the category to which the constituent belongs to. So in order to rectify that error, we have what is known as the labeled IC analysis. Now, labeled IC analysis will have, let's say, categorical or formal labels. It will have categorical or formal labels which indicates the category to which each constituent belongs. Now let's take this example, the construction Little Ramu walked away is a construction. Now, any sentence that we take can be divided into a noun phrase and a verb phrase. It is not, it can be divided, it will be divided into a noun phrase and a verb phrase. So this sentence is divided into the noun phrase Little Ramu and verb phrase walked away. Again, under noun phrase we have an adjective little and noun Ramu. Under verb phrase we have verb as walked and adverb as slowly. So, noun phrase and verb phrase, they are known as categorical or formal labels. Formal labels because they will indicate the category under which the constituent will fall. So we understand that little Ramu will fall under the noun phrase. So that is the category, or that is the formal label. Now, depending upon the function of the constituent, some structural linguists have grouped constructions into 5 types. Now, let us check these 5 types of constructions. The first one is known as the structure of predication. Structure of predication will always have a binary cut. In these type of constructions, you can divide the sentence into a subject and a predicate. For example, dogs bark, birds fly, etc. So here, subject will be dogs, predicate will be bark. Now, the second one is known as the structure of modification. In these type of constructions, you can have a binary cut with a modifier and a head. For example, a boy is a construction and you have the modifier as a and head as the boy. Now, the third one is the structure of complementation, which again has a binary cut with a verbal and a complement. For example, let us take the construction, he is clever. So, first binary cut, you have he as the subject and predicate as is clever. Okay. Now, is clever in the second step will be the construction, and you can be divided into using the binary cut into a verbal, which is and a complement, that is clever. So the verb that is known as the verbal, and what comes after the verb is its complement, something complementing the verb. That is what is known as complement or be complement, we say. So clever is the complement. Okay, so that is the structure of complementation, which will have the verbal plus complement. I have more examples for the structure of complement. Let's see more examples. Um, she gave me sweets. Okay, so we have divided it into the subject and the predicate. She is the subject and predicate is give me sweets. And let's take this construction, give me sweets. We can use the binary cut there, and it becomes the verbal, that is gave plus complement, that is me sweets. Now that complement can again be divided into the direct object and the indirect object. Which is the direct object? The sweet. Okay, so sweet is the direct object, and indirect object, to whom was it given? It was given to me. So me becomes the indirect object. Let us check the next one. It looked elegant. So construction, again we are dividing into the subject and predicate. It is the subject, predicate is looked elegant, and we are again dividing it into verbal plus complement. Verbal is looked and its complement is elegant. So always under this, we always divide it into the verbal plus complement. Okay. So that is the structure of complementation. Next, we pass on to the structure of subordination. Structure of subordination will again have a binary cut into subordinator plus a dependent unit. Let us analyze this by means of an example. For example, the book on the table. The book on the table is a construction. We are dividing it into the head and the modifier. The head is the book and the modifier is on the table. Now we are taking the construction on the table, which can be divided into a subordinator plus a dependent unit. So subordinator there is on and dependent unit is the table. Now the table, we are again dividing it into a modifier plus head. The is the modifier and table is the head. So that is the structure of the structure of subordination. In the structure of a subordination, we will have a subordinator plus a dependent unit. So here, subordinator is on and dependent unit is the table. And the table, we have again divided in using the binary cut into modifier plus head. I hope that is clear to you. Let's pass on to the last structure, the structure of coordination. In the structure of coordination, it is not possible to have a binary cut. In that case, you have a multiple IC here. This is an example of a multiple IC because here the structure will be an independent unit, a coordinator plus an independent unit. Here you have a construction like John and Mary. It will have John as the independent unit and as the coordinator, again Mary as an independent unit. So in all the four structures that we had discussed till now, we had used the binary cut, but in the structure of coordination, it cannot be the binary cut. This is an example of the multiple IC.